afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall. One of these teams, the Vikings, feel as if, at least their fans do, backed into the playoffs as they lost 3 out of the last 4 games. But nevertheless, they're here. The Saints won 9 in a row. That's how they got here. But with all that outside, this is a new season, and they both began at 0-0. John Madden is here with me, of course. John, this is a playoff atmosphere, the wild card game, everything at stake. What's different about a playoff game?
I think just the excitement level. You know, your heart's beating just a little faster. The players are down there on the sideline. They're ready to go now, and there's something about the finality of it. You know, there are 10 teams in the playoffs. 9 of them are going to lose their last game. Then you take that thing where the winners go on, the losers go home. I'll tell you, every guy down on that field feels that right now.
You're so right. When you talk about the Minnesota situation, the first thing that comes to mind, obviously, is the quarterback situation. What about it?
Well, you know, Tommy Kramer's starting, and I'm sure Jerry Burns is thinking, we'd like to have the Tommy Kramer that played last year, because we all remember that he was a leading quarterback in the NFL. Now, he was injured in preseason this year, and he's really never recovered. In fact, as you can see here, he started 5 games. He has finished none. Now, Wade Wilson has started 7 games, and then of those games, he started the last 2 games, and I think that Jerry Burns is thinking that he would like to start Kramer, see if he has the hot hand. If he does, go with him. If he doesn't, he would rather have Wade Wilson on the sideline where he can bring him in later.
John, when you think about the New Orleans Saints, you don't think of a lot of big names, superstars, what have you, but they won 9 in a row. They're in the playoffs for the first time ever. What do you think got them here?
You know, I think part of that is Jim Finks and the organization. I think a big part is head coach Jim Mora. But I think another part is they do the little things. Sometimes the things we don't look at, the intangible. If you look at their record here, you can see that time of possession, 34 minutes. They were first in the league. Turnover ratio, +20, they're first in the league. Then in another area, special team. We don't look at that much, but Mel Gray was the leading punt returner. Morton Anderson, probably the best kicker in the league. He was first in touchback. Inside the 40, he is 100%. And look at that other stat. They have blocked 8 kicks, and they've scored on 7 of those. And I think you take that whole package, and those are the things that got the Saints here today.
In fact, Jim Mora said yesterday when we talked with him that if it were not for what John Madden was just talking about, our special teams, we wouldn't be in the playoffs. This place is going to be bedlam. So is the city. So has been the city. Anderson's kickoff is deep. Darren Nelson has it sail over his head and out of the end zone, and that's one of those intangibles. It sure is a break when you don't have to cover kickoffs. Kramer will start at quarterback for the Vikings as they have the ball first. He'll be looking at a 3-man front. Bruce Clark, Tony Elliott, the nose tackle, and Jim Wilkes. An excellent group of linebackers. Jackson, Mills, Vaughn Johnson, who's had a great year, as had Pat Swilling. Secondary has Weimer and Jakes on the corners, and Maxey. The lone setback is Alfred Anderson. Nelson in the slot to the left. And here's Kramer going to work on first down, chased and brought down by Ricky Jackson. He's had a Pro Bowl year. What a way to start it, a loss of 8. Let's look at the offense. Kramer, Darren Nelson, and Alfred Anderson, the 2 runners. Carter and Leo Lewis start at the wide receivers. Zimmerman, Huffman, Loudermilk, Cook, Irwin, and Steve Jordan, an excellent tight end. It'll be 2nd and 18. They're backed up to their 12-yard line. Rick Finney and Darren Nelson now are the 2 running backs. Fumble on the exchange from center. The Saints lead the league in turnovers, or led it, and they get the first one.
I'll tell you, this Saint team came out of that locker room fired up, kicked the ball into the end zone, start off with a sack on the first play, then they come up with an interception on the second play. That just looked like a rusty Tommy Kramer.
Vaughn Johnson made the recovery for the Saints, and they'll have it first down just outside the 10. They do make things happen.
say, it all starts with those special teams that Morton Anderson kicks the ball out of the end zone, gets everyone fired up. The defense sprints on the field, and this is an excited team.
Dalton Hilliard at the last moment replaced Reuben Mays. Hebert back in the pocket. Struggles back to the line of scrimmage. Stopped by Chris Dolman. Maybe he got a yard. Hebert, the quarterback. He comes from Cutoff, Louisiana, not far from here. Reuben Mays and Buford Jordan usually are the two running backs. Eric Martin and Mike Jones, the wide receivers. Dombrowski, Edelman, Hilgenberg, Trapillo, Brock. And the tight end is Hobie Brenner. 2nd and 9. Hilliard is the lone setback. Cliff Benson. Split wide to the right. Hebert in the direction of Eric Martin. Touchdown Saints.
They put two tight ends over to the left side to ensure maximum protection. And they just let Eric Martin work from the slot and run a corner pattern.
Morton Anderson will try the extra point with Hanson holding. Anderson hasn't missed all year, and he still hasn't. And the Saints, with 13:37 left to play in the first quarter, lead at 7-0. The story of the Saints scoring drive, 11 yards, took them 2 plays after the fumble recovery by Vaughn Johnson. The Vikings and Tommy Kramer fumble the snap from center. And the Saints, who led the regular season in plus figures as far as turnovers are concerned, again take advantage. The Vikings have Darren Nelson back deep in the middle, and Anderson, who killed the first kickoff, lines this one. And away and out of the end zone again. What a weapon he is.
Let's watch that touchdown. It was interesting. The Saints had 3 tight ends. Here's Cliff Benson. Now they just go right here, and they just run to Martin right here, a corner pattern. But they had 3 tight ends, making them think it was a short yardage thing. Then they take Eric Martin, put him in the slot. You see, and he just runs an individual pattern there, beats his man by 2 steps.
And so the Vikings trail 7-0. Leo Lewis split wide to the right. Anthony Carter to the left. Kramer pitches back to Nelson. Gain of about 4, stopped by Vaughn Johnson and Sam Mills. Mills is quite a story, John. He played for Jim Mora in the USFL. They said he was too small, too little, too short, too everything.
Well, he's only 5'9", and he said that he has used that all his life. You know, when he was in high school, they said he was too small. When he went to college, little Montclair State, said he couldn't play. Played in the USFL, said he couldn't play in the NFL. Well, of course he is, and not only is he playing, but he made the Pro Bowl this year.
Quite a story. Here's Kramer back to throw, coming out of the pocket. Chased and tripped short of a first down by Tony Elliott, the nose tackle. He got 4 yards, so it'll bring up a 3rd and short situation.
Yeah, it was interesting that first series that the Vikings had. The first play, Tommy Kramer went to a play pass. Now, that's where you fake the run and throw the pass, and Kramer said he thought they could do that because the Saint defense is so aggressive. Now, there's 2 thoughts on that. Do you do it right away when they think it's run, or do you establish that you're running, invite them to do it, and then go to it later?
Anthony Carter and Leo Lewis line up wide right. Kramer back in the pocket, fires complete to Leo Lewis, who's been bothered by bad ribs but started nevertheless. He's stopped by Brett Maxey.
Jerry Burns was saying we'll probably see a lot of Hassan Jones today splitting with Leo Lewis because of those ribs. He said it's tough when you get that thing. Then you have to wear the extra pad And then if you catch the ball against your body, it pops out. And you're always worried about those drops and fumbles. And in fact, last week, Leo Lewis had one pop out of his hands. It was a big interception for the Redskins.
Redskins got the ricochet on 1st and 10. Kramer back to throw. Just does have time. Intended for Carter, incomplete. Covered by Dave Waymer. Incomplete.
Well, that's that deep threat. You know that the Vikings are going to do that. They're going to do it early, and they're going to do it all day. Anthony Carter is one of those big play guys. He's one of those big play guys that draws double coverage most of the time, but he's capable of beating double coverage. Last week we saw against the Redskins, they had 3 guys on him, and he still caught a 50-yard pass.
That's the mark of a great one, if you know you're going to get that double coverage and still have the capability of beating it. Jordan was the man in motion. Nothing is happening for Darren Nelson as that Saint defense, led by Ricky Jackson, number 57, pursue and throw him for a loss of 2.
If you have to pick any strength of this New Orleans Saints, it's probably the linebacker group. If they have an all-star group, that's probably it. Ricky Jackson's been in the Pro Bowl. Sam Mills is in the Pro Bowl. And I think number 56, Pat Swilling, could be the best of all of them.
He's going to be in a lot of Pro Bowls, no doubt about that. 3rd down and 12. Hassan Jones and Leo Lewis split wide to the right. Anthony Carter to the left. Low snap. Kramer fumbles it. And down under a pile of Saints. Jim Wilkes was the first man there. That's the 2nd sack of the day for the Saints. That was a low snap. That's not necessarily Kramer's fault.
I'll tell you, as Tommy Kramer gets up, he knows that in this game, he's only going to be able to take one real hit on that right shoulder. And when he gets that, then that makes his whole arm numb, and that'll be the end of him for the day.
Bucky Scribner, who has replaced Greg Coleman as the Viking punter. Back deep for Minnesota, Mel Gray. Saints went after it. Gray signals fair catch. Has it hit him and get away from him. And the Vikings might have gotten that turnover. They do. Joey Browner ran it down and made the recovery.
That's the thing now with Mel Gray, he doesn't have to catch the ball here, but if it touches him, as it did, now it's a free ball. Now the Saints have to get on it, and if they don't, if the Vikings get there first, as they do, then that's a fumble recovery and the Vikings ball.
So the Vikings will take over at the New Orleans 27. And the Vikings have a new quarterback, Wade Wilson. Has replaced Tommy Kramer. Pumps, gives to Darren Nelson, and Nelson gets inside the 25 to about the 23. Tony Elliott and Jim Wilkes made the stop.
You know, I said that Tommy Kramer was going to play as long as that first hit, and I think maybe he got it on that last sack that he took.
Well, you can see him perhaps flexing his right hand, and that's what happens, as you said, John. The numbness goes from the shoulder all the way down the arm into his thumb and his right index finger.
Well, I didn't think that Tommy Kramer would finish this game today, but I thought he would finish the first quarter.
Here's Wade Wilson back and coming out of the pocket. Wilson is hammered by Ricky Jackson. He picked up 4. Let's see if we can see what happened to Kramer.
Well, here it is, and again, it's his right side. You see him following through there, and he gets hit on that right side, and he's holding his arm, really, before he even went down. I don't know. He was worried more about the hit in the head that would jam the neck back than he was the hit in the arm.
3rd down and 3. Ball's at the New Orleans 20. Wilson back to throw. A flag is thrown or a whistle is blown before the thing started.
Ball start. 68 offense.
Dooley. Greg Cook moved too soon. Dooley is the referee. The head linesman Jerry Bergman. Bob Moore is the back judge. Johnny Greer, the field judge. Al Conway, Bama Glass, and Dave Hawk, the rest of the officiating group. And this is an all-star cast as far as officials are concerned.
Right, they're not the normal crews. They grade the officials all year, and then the best officials get the playoff game assignments.
Alan Rice and Darren Nelson, Hassan Jones in motion. The Saints swarm around Wilson. He barely got it away in the direction of Leo Lewis. He could get nothing on the ball. And it's incomplete. Van Jakes on the coverage.
You know, last night Jerry Burns kept talking about things they have to do, and he says, when we get down there, we have to score. He said, I don't know what it is. It's no one thing. The only thing we can think of is maybe when we get close, it's just lack of confidence.
Chuck Nelson will attempt a field goal. Bucky Scribner, the punter, will do the holding. This is an area in which the Vikings have not had a lot of success. A trouble spot. Trouble no more. From 42 yards away, the Vikings get on the board. But New Orleans leads it 7-3. Pat Summerall, John Madden, and we're at the Louisiana Superdome, where the Vikings trail the New Orleans Saints 7-3. 4 plays. And they got a Chuck Nelson field goal from 42 yards, his first over 40 yards in the last 6 games. Gray back in the center. Barry Word on one side and Dalton Hilliard on the other. They've got some weapons back to return kicks for the Saints.
Of course, Gray already gave up that one big play, the fumble on the punt return that was turned into 3 points by the Vikings. It was a funny play. I don't know if the ball got lost in the lights or what.
Nelson squibs it. Bounces away from Word. He just barely does get on it before the Vikings arrive. Very nearly another special team turnover by the Saints.
You know, it's funny, as you were saying earlier, Jim Morris says that if it weren't for our special teams, we wouldn't be in the playoffs this year. And how everyone talks about the offense, the defense, the superstars, and you really don't pay too much attention to that area. You see, there's someone, Joe Marciano, special teams coach of the year. See, they know. This group's been here. They've seen the Saints win 9 in a row.
And they've got some memories, too.
Tell you, there aren't many special teams coach in the NFL that get their names on posters.
That's right. Gray was the man in motion. Hebert on a screen pass intended for Dalton Hilliard. You know, the Vikings, as we said before, haven't been to the playoffs since 1982. The Saints, this is their first appearance. They really got a shot in the arm when the USFL folded and they started to pick up some of the good players.
You know, I think both teams did. If you look at the Saints, Bobby Hebert, of course, the starting quarterback was from the USFL. Mel Gray, Chuck Comiskey, the starting fullback. Vaughn Johnson, Van Jakes, Sam Mills is in the Pro Bowl. All of these guys came to the Saints after the USFL.
It really had an impact. Here's Hebert back to throw. And pass is picked off by Isaac Hope. And the Vikings. Hebert was under pressure, just barely got rid of it. And he might have been better off not to.
You know, that's one thing. The Saints are getting away from what they usually do, and that's that ball control passing game where you only throw the ball 5 to 10 yards. That one was really a deep pass for this Saint team.
The 2 linebackers are very close.
Let's watch the interception here. We're going to see the tight end, Hobie Brenner, is running a corner pattern. Holt, the defensive back, bumps him here. Brenner stops. Holt keeps running the pattern. Watch, and that's how he comes up with the interception. When the tight end
first play, Wade Wilson, an attempt in the direction of Anthony Carter, deflected by Ricky Jackson. So it's incomplete. The Vikings have the ball just short of the 50-yard line.
You know, it was interesting yesterday, Pat, we were talking to the Saints players and coaches that they wanted to see Tommy Kramer in there. They said when they heard that he was starting, they smiled a little. They said they don't like to play against Wade Wilson because he can run, and you're always afraid to go on that all-out pass rush.
Nelson and Finney, the two backs. This is Darren Nelson, left side, and he's got some good yardage this time. Close to a first down. A gain of about 9.5. Jim Wilkes made the stop. See what they did to Pat Swilling.
So they get out of here and they get a good corner for him. That's Steve Jordan, 83, is blocking. All he does is stay with him, stay with him, stay with him, because the back is coming all the way across the backfield. Jordan did an excellent job of staying with him, driving him out. Then he put him on his back, and Nelson cut to the inside.
That guy, Steve Jordan, is one heck of a player.
He's one of those guys that his motor only knows one way to run, and that's full RPM.
3rd and 1. Not that much. Only about a foot. Again, Tom Dooley says, let's bring it out and measure and see if it's 3rd and 1 instead of 1st and 10.
I think if I were the Vikings, I would rather have that 3rd down, go for some kind of play fake, and even come back on 4th down if I had to. Use that rep. Yeah, I would rather have that. Now I got two decisions. One, I can go for it and pick it up, or two, I can play fake and go for the big play. That's what I would do.
And that, of course, has a great effect on your defensive philosophy.
Jim Moore, the thing is, you don't want to get up there in short yardage defense and sell out.
That's one thing you can't afford to do. It's 3rd and about a foot.
I think this is a great time for a play fake, though.
DJ Dozier, their short yardage horse.
You can see he has 5 touchdowns this year. Jerry Burns said he feels a lot more comfortable with him in there than he does with Darren Nelson.
Rick Finney is the other back. It's Finney. Got the first down. Moves inside the 40, gained 3. Pat Swilling, number 56, on the bottom of the pile. But the Vikings have it in pretty good shape. They fell behind early after a fumble on the exchange with Kramer in the center. The Saints took advantage, and they lead 7-3. But the Vikings are at the New Orleans 38. 1st and 10. Anderson moves in motion. Wilson gives on a delay. Fake throwing left. Gives to Nelson. No gain. Tony Elliott and Ricky Jackson.
You know what that play was, Pat? That was the old Statue of Liberty. You don't see that anymore, where the quarterback goes back like he's going to pass, then he hands off to the running back. But Darren Nelson is going to come from his left to his right. See, he does a spinner. You see, Wade Wilson goes like it's going to pass and hands backwards. Didn't have any effect on the Saints.
That's the 1988 Statue of Liberty.
I like that old kind, the old kind that came out of the bucket.
Here's Wilson chased out of the pocket by Clark. Gets it outside to Allen Wright. Stopped by Van Jakes, but a pickup of 9.
Did you hear that shot that Ricky Jackson put on him? This is the thing that the Saints were talking about yesterday. Is you get Wilson, you think you got him. Watch, there you are, you're afraid. Bruce Clark is coming in. He just makes a couple quick steps out to the outside, and boom, gets the first down on you.
Again, that 3rd and 1 situation. This time it's a legitimate one. Wilson 1 out of 3. That completion just then. He fakes, and here's what you were looking for. Now Wilson trying to come out of the pocket, throws crossfield, incomplete. And no flags on the play. Intended for Carl Hilton. Incomplete. It'll bring up 4th and 1.
I think the Vikings have already decided they're going to go for it. Again, I said the first time that I liked it because it was a little shorter. It was 3rd and shorter. Jerry Burns is going to take time out here and think this one over.
He's obviously thinking about whether or not he would like to go for it. I'm sure he'd like to, but whether he should or not. From the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans, the NFC's wild card game between the Vikings and Saints. New Orleans leads 7-3 with 4:44 left in the first quarter. 4th and 1. And the Vikings call a timeout, talked it over, and their decision remains as it was. They're going for it. Wilson back in the pocket to throw, and out of the pocket, and chase. And he comes out of the pocket. And he's going to get away from everybody and steps out of bounds, and the Saints will take over. He had no place to go. Great coverage by the Saints secondary.
I tell you, I'm surprised when they had 3rd down and just a little more than a yard that they didn't run on one of those 2 plays. Because both of those plays were great coverage by the Saints. The 3rd down where they went to play pass was excellent coverage. There was no one to throw to. So now they come 4th down. They go to the pass again. Again, excellent coverage by the Saints. Wade Wilson had no one to throw to.
And so Bobby Hebert on 1st and 10 has Reuben Mays and Buford Jordan behind him, and they swap position. Mays is 36. Jordan's the blocker. Now he's the ball carrier. Might have gotten a yard, and then knocked backwards by Chris Dolman, who was the first man to hit him. He's a very impressive guy, isn't he?
Well, he is. Chris Dolman was a linebacker, and then at the end of the season last year, they had some linemen get hurt, and they said, why don't you just do it temporarily? He said, okay, temporarily. Look, we still have him as a linebacker. That was a year ago. Then he came back to camp, and he said, well, let's try it a little longer. And he's been a defensive lineman ever since.
They're starting to like it. Reuben Mays. On a delay play, right side, got 3 yards. Minnesota Vikings said to us, we feel the thing we have to do to win is control the rush. And so far, they have.
Well, and the other thing that they had to do was be able to score when they got down there. And they got down there, and, you know, they don't look like they have a lot of confidence down there. And on that last drive, you had confusion with lack of confidence, and that has to be negative.
You don't get much accomplished when you have confusion and lack of confidence, do you?
Not when you mix them.
Hebert out of the shotgun. Hit from behind by Keith Millard, just as he let it go. Talk about your impressive guys. He's pretty impressive, too. Watch him.
I tell you, there's a big, strong guy. We see him. He's just going to come right up the middle here, just get a push and be right into Hebert's face. When you get a guy like Millard, who has good speed, good strength, he can take a couple of guys with him, and as he has a couple of guys hanging on him, boom, he can get in there and grab the quarterback.
Brian Hansen back to punt for the Saints. He's had somewhat of an erratic year. He's gone. Forget about it. So much for the intangibles, so much for the special teams. The Vikings go ahead, 84 yards on the punt return by Anthony Carter.
And that's why Anthony Carter is an all-pro. He's a guy, and even Bobby Hebert was telling us yesterday, they played together in the USFL. He said the thing about Carter is anytime he gets that football in his hands, he's a threat to go all the way. He said it can be on a kick return, it can be on a screen, on a long pass. He said he is one of the most dangerous men in football. That's if you're playing against him.
Thing about it is he doesn't look dangerous. He looks so frail.
Well, he got those skinny little legs going for him. I think everyone feels sorry for him.
They don't anymore. Chuck Nelson hits the extra point. And the Vikings lead now 10-7.
Hey, when you get a run like that, you deserve a little oxygen. And you got to replenish that stuff. Watch these moves that he makes in this traffic. Watch him down there. He's making moves, kick. Look, he planted with his right foot, jumped about 3 yards with his left, moved back left, right, picked up blocks. And when he gets there, there's a little smile on his face because he knows there's no one that's going to catch him.
Anthony Carter had a great collegiate career, of course, at Michigan. A lot of people doubted his ability to catch the ball in traffic, but he has discounted all of those things that were said.
Hey, Tommy Crane was saying last night, he said, I was really happy when we got him. And then he said, then he came to camp, and I looked at him and said, geez, that guy looks a little frail.
They tried to start to feed him when he got to training camp. But he has been very durable and obviously very talented. Can make some things happen.
I think instead of feeding a guy like that, you just put a couple of bricks in his pockets when you weigh him, and then everyone's satisfied and you just let him be.
3:03 left to play in the first quarter. And the Vikings, after that 84-yard punt return by Anthony Carter, lead at 10-7. And as so often happens, a very enthusiastic crowd became a very quiet crowd.
Yeah, you could bring that automometer out now and it wouldn't register anything. It'd register a donut up there.
They again bounce the kickoff. And again, Barry Word handles it. And he hammers out to about the 29. Walker Lee Ashley on the stop. Word got it back 12 yards after he finally found the handle. The Saints will take over at their own 30.
Well, I will say one thing about the Saints offensively is they look out of sync. They look like they're a little jittery out there. Bobby Hebert doesn't look like he's loosened up yet. Offensive linemen look a little tight. I think that maybe sometimes for a playoff game you can get too high.
Well, they all said yesterday, hey, we were ready to play last Monday. Today's the day, not last Monday. Mays, and a flag comes flying into the middle. Keith Millard on the bottom of the pile. Mays got one, but this is probably going to be holding, as Tom Dooley would indicate, against the Saints.
Holding, 63 offense, first down.
They look unsure, the Saints do, about who's supposed to be in the game.
That's right. Brad Edelman, the guy that was holding, was the guy that was blocking Keith Millard. As we said, Millard's one of those big 280-pound defensive linemen. Strong as a bull. You know, and if you're going to block him, you better get to him quickly. He got a big old set of arms on him. He's from my hometown, Pleasanton.
A lot of
remember him in high school.
A lot of big guys from your hometown.
Yeah. Richard Moran.
Here's Hebert back to throw. Again, he's pressured. This time the throws in the direction of Eric Martin, incomplete. Out of bounds. Covered by Carl Lee. Again, he was under pressure.
Well, what Bobby Hebert likes to do is take either a 3-step drop or a 5-step drop. And then stand erect. Stand straight. He's 6'4", you see, step up there, stand right in there. Don't move out right or left. And, of course, if you stand in there, the longer you hold the ball, eventually some guys in white jerseys are going to get there.
Millard again. 2nd and 20. Report on Tommy Kramer is he has a little bit of a twinge in his neck. Could return if need be. Saints go with 4 wide receivers and shotgun formation. To come out of the pocket. This time he'll have some time. Gets it out to Mark Pattison. Carl Lee again the defender. Not enough, not nearly enough for a first down. Hebert that time out of the pocket. Gain 7. They still need 13 for a first.
I know what the Saints are trying to do, because Jim Morris said yesterday, we would like to come out passing, start throwing the ball, make the Vikings think that we're going to pass, and then open up our running game. You know, just the opposite of that whole deal of establish the run to throw. Establish the pass to be able to run.
They again go with their 4 wide receiver setup. Hit from behind, did well to hold on to the ball, and again it was Keith Millard who brought him down.
I tell you, Keith Millard is having a big start to this game. He's right here. He comes in behind, and then he's going to catch him this way. Watch him. Millard starts up the field. He's working outside. Now Hebert starts, and he just puts on those burners and caught him from behind.
I don't know how you held on to the ball. Anthony Carter feels like he changed his mind at the last second. Gene Atkins was the man down to make the stop. 46-yard punt. Return of 10.
Tell you, there's a guy, Floyd Peters, who's talking to the defensive lineman. You can see him. Paul Wiggins, the other guy. Floyd Peters is a guy who's really kind of a pros coach. You know, he played in the league for years, and then he went right in. He's been one of the top defensive coordinators and defensive line coaches for a long time.
He has few other thoughts than football.
That's my kind of guy.
Fake was to Nelson. Pass was intended for Jim Gustafson. It was deflected by Pat Swilling, number 56.
You know, it's one thing, I think, when you get a game like this and everyone is, the heart rate's up a little, the intensity level's up a little, I think the defenses excel. Because defense, you have to have emotion to play. You have to have life. And it looks like both of these defenses are fired up. And in being fired up, have kept the offenses off balance.
Second down and 10. Finney and Nelson, the running backs. That's Finney. Headed up the middle. He picked up 4 yards. 10-7. The Vikings lead the Saints as we wind down the final few seconds of quarter number 1. Talking about earlier during the regular season what control of the ball New Orleans had. Look at what's happened here in the first quarter.
And New Orleans isn't doing anything. They don't have the time of possession. And how about the special team? They're getting beaten in both those areas.
Finney is the lone setback. Wilson gets it upfield, complete to Gustafson. And Jake's on the stop, but a gain of 13 and a Minnesota first down. That'll be all of quarter number 1. What a strange quarter it's been. And as it comes to a close, Minnesota leads New Orleans 10-7. The Louisiana Superdome. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The NFC wild card game. The Vikings and the Saints. The Vikings leading it 10-7. And on the move again. Wade Wilson is their quarterback. Anthony Carter. Hands of velvet. Wilson had it right on the money, and look how he handles this ball.
Well, you know, watch Carter coming to the inside from the top of the screen. He's just coming in a slant, and you can hit him in any of those positions, but he doesn't wait for the ball to get to his body. You see how he just kind of gets it up there and pop, just snaps it right out of the air.
Comes wide to the right. This time Leo Lewis goes wide left. Anderson and Nelson behind Wade Wilson. Semi rollout. Intended for Carter. He's going to be out of bounds anyway. It's incomplete. Dave Waymer was the nearest Saint.
Waymer was the corner playing off. The guy that helped was Ricky Jackson. See, as they had Waymer off of Carter, and then Jackson, a linebacker, working out underneath. And I think Wilson had to really throw that ball around Ricky Jackson.
Poe comes in. And the Saints nickel package. They go with 4 down linemen now. Here's Wilson. Blitz coming. Pass intercepted. And dropped by Johnny Poe. And they still chase it. And this is one they might review.
I'll tell you, the guy that caused it on this end was Pat Swilling. He was the rusher that was right in Wilson's face and made him get rid of the ball.
Alan Rice was the man who turned Poe upside down. Now they're saying incomplete. You got to come down with possession.
The receiver
Reverse
did
angle,
not have
reverse
control of the
angle.
ball. It's an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Well, see there, Poe has to come down with it. I guess not. That was quite a spill anyway. It was like the spill from the 2nd floor. But it's the same thing as a reception. You have to go up, have possession, come down with both feet and possession.
And now, as I said, that's one that they'll probably look at again.
You see Johnny Poe is number 25. It's up in the air, has the ball. Now he comes down.
Actually, it was a collision with his own teammate, Van Jakes, that really turned him upside down like that, and they continue to review.
I would think just from watching it here with the raw eyes that it's not an interception.
You can look at it now with the reverse eyes.
Or you can stand on your head and look at it upside down.
If you're Johnny Poe.
And you still see the ball pop out.
Jerry Burns and Jim Mora. 2 guys who've done remarkable jobs this year. The Vikings with their replacement team didn't win a game. But with their regulars, they're at the top of the heap. Still, the review.
I'll show you the thing that made Wade Wilson throw it is watch Pat Swilling. He's here. He's going to hit. And then he comes and just as he's getting ready to hit, Wilson throws the ball.
The play will stand as called. 3rd down.
See, that was the guy Wilson saw. He saw him coming, and he had to throw the ball. I think Swilling caused him to throw it then. First, the replay, they watched the same stuff and said that it wasn't an interception.
And they say, after review, the call and the play will stand as called. So it's still Viking ball, 3rd and 10. They're at the New Orleans 38. Wilson, with a man in his face, gets it out to Darren Nelson. Nelson breaking 3 tackles, and he might go all the way. Nelson at about the 1-foot line, finally stopped by Johnny Poe. And he showed you why they fear him so much.
Well, those are the 2 guys that we were talking about, and they're the 2 speed guys of the Vikings. Anthony Carter, he gets a big punt return. Darren Nelson gets a big run. These are 2 guys that, again, you don't have to throw the ball deep to. All you have to get the ball in their hands because they can both make things happen. They have good speed, good elusive movements that can get that ball up where you want it. I would somehow get it in their hands every play, either Carter or Nelson.
Nelson sits down, and Dozier and Finney come in behind Wilson. It's DJ Dozier. Knocked backward by Tony Elliott at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he even lost a yard.
Thing is, watch the Saints up there on top. They get the penetration. You see them, they're in there. They get to the Viking side of the ball, and there's no place for Dozier to go. But you see the first guy through there is 99, Tony Elliott. See 99? He's in the backfield. He's the first guy that gets there, and he's the guy that stops Dozier.
They lost a yard, and it's 2nd and goal from the 2. Anderson and Dozier again. Saint linebackers jumped offside. Appeared to be Joel Colbrand. Ricky Jackson, the defensive captain, arguing with Tom Dooley and the rest of the officials. But let's see.
Encroachment of the defense, number 73, second down.
Frank Warren.
Look, Pat, this is what I think caused it. Watch Wade Wilson as he starts to call the plays. You see him move his left leg, cock his left leg there. I think that's what the defense saw. They saw that movement, that foot movement. And then they're used to any movement you see, boom, you get a cross there.
They've allowed only 6 rushing touchdowns all year. This was set up by the 37-yard pass completion to Nelson. They're out of sync this time as Dozier goes over the top and in, but a flag is down, and that one is going to be against Minnesota.
Second down.
Still second down.
Again, you see the quarterback's going to move his leg. Now, that's usually to start the motion. Now, the motion comes across. That's the left tackle up there. It's Gary Zimmerman, number 65. He was the first guy that moved. And he was the guy that they were going right in his hole, too.
The guy next to him moved a little bit. And when you get so tense in a situation like this, any movement. Here's Wilson trying for the quarterback draw. Nothing doing as Jim Wolf stopped him after a gain of only 1. Ricky Jackson on the assist.
I don't know what kind of play that was. If it's a quarterback draw, Wilson should drop a little deeper to let things develop. You have to get back, let that rush start up, let things develop, find a lane. He just went there too quickly.
Just got anxious. That's what happened on the last 3 plays. 3rd and goal from the 5.
The Vikings seem to self-destruct the closer they get to the goal line.
When they get down here, they just can't seem to put people away. Here's Wilson back to throw. Up the middle. Touchdown to his tight end, Steve Jordan. They're putting the Saints away right now. Touchdown pass from Wilson to Jordan. 5 yards.
Well, they didn't self-destruct there. That's one thing about Wilson. I'll tell you, he zipped that thing in there because Steve Jordan really wasn't open. Watch Wilson. He's looking. He's looking. Now he sees him. Now watch him put the mustard on that thing. Whack! I mean, he hit him right between 2 defenders that hit themselves.
Right between Mills and Johnson. 16-7. Nelson makes it 17-7. And the Vikings lead by 10 with 11 minutes and 41 seconds left to play in the first half.
You talk about throwing in something in a tight area. Look, defender, whap. He zips that ball, and how he got it between those 2 defenders. Look at that.
I'll tell you, too, John, that's a heck of a catch by Jordan with those 2 guys almost blocking his vision on both sides.
Well, you know, you always talk about concentration for a receiver, and that's one thing that you practice. They call that a blur drill. You just throw the ball to receivers and have guys in front of them just moving their hands up and down. That time they had 2 linebackers shooting live bullets, so you had to concentrate on it.
Right between Sam Mills and Johnson.
And Wade Wilson, that's having confidence in your arm.
Line drive kickoff again at Barry Word. Word out to about the 29. Carl Hilton made the stop. We're at the Louisiana Superdome, the NFC's wild card game between the Saints and the Vikings. Minnesota, after trailing 7-0, came back and has scored 2 touchdowns and gotten a field goal. Wilson replaced Kramer at quarterback. Anthony Carter lit the fire with an 84-yard punt return for a touchdown. And the Vikings lead in total offense as well as the score. It's 17-7. 11:34 left in the first half. A lot of time left. But the Vikings have shown pretty good control. Here's Reuben May. flag on the play again. Thomas made the stop for Minnesota. Gain of 4 by Reuben Mays, but that's going to be brought back.
Holding 63 offense. First down.
Yeah, that's Brad Edelman again now. That's his second holding call. He's having a tough time in here. He's the guy that's blocking Keith Millard, and Keith Millard is having a good start in his first half.
There's Brad Edelman. Millard was all fired up last night. He said to you, you know, the 2 games that you broadcast, I've been hurt both times. Being a hometown friend of yours, he'd like to display his wares in front of you as well as the rest of the audience.
Okay, he's a good player. He's a #1 draft choice of the Vikings out of Washington State, and he's one of those guys who plays in the USFL.
Mays, right side. Tripped up by the last man, Joey Browner. After a gain of 9. We talked about the Saints and the contribution that the USFL players made to their team. What about the Vikings?
Look at that. I mean, if you just take that top guy, Anthony Carter, and say that's the only thing you got out of the league, that was pretty good. But look, they got Keith Millard, who's a second-team All-Pro, and down at the bottom there was Gary Zimmerman, who's an All-Pro this year.
And perhaps their best lineman. Second down. Hebert, again flushed in the pocket. Again, a flag is down. The pass is incomplete. Flag down at the line of scrimmage. The Saints have got to get that offensive line and that group entirely together and give Hebert some time. Lonzel Hill was the intended receiver. Carl Lee, the defender. They might decline this one.
Holding number 63. The penalty is declined. Third down.
Hey, that's Brad Edelman again. That's his 3rd one. Watch him right here. And you see again, he's blocking Keith Millard. Watch, Millard got off the ball quicker than Edelman did. He beat him to the charge. Millard got by him, and I think he had to grab him with that left arm to slow him up. And I think that's what happened. But again, it was that quick move, getting beaten when the ball was snapped and bringing that arm up over.
3rd and 12. They do decline. Spread formation, 4 wide receivers for the Saints. Hebert by Dolman, and he dropped the football. The Saints got it back. Brad Edelman saw it on the ground and made the recovery.
You know, one thing we see more, watch Chris Dolman coming from the backside. But as these rushers come from the backside, what they're going to do is grab with one hand. Watch, he's going to grab and then strip at the ball. Grab with the left hand and try and, boom, knock that ball out with the right hand. That's the way backside pass rushers do it now. Grab with one and strip with the other.
Picture-perfect pass rushing by Chris Dolman. I don't think he wants to go back to linebacker. Hansen. Good kick this time, and Anthony Carter slips one tackle, a couple, got away from 3 more people, finally tripped up by Johnny Poe. Talk about an exciting player. Diagram Anthony Carter.
It's a good start.
17-7. First half, 9:18 remain. Joel Hilgenberg with an ice pack and a bandage on his left arm. But sometimes you just have to go back to basics and drain that thing.
You always talk about an arm being pumped up. That's how you get it back down after you pump it up.
Wilson outside of Carter. First down, Minnesota. And out of bounds, stops the clock. Van Jakes. Pickup of 12. Jakes, the defender.
Look at Carter there and those skinny legs he got. He really doesn't have, I mean, those are probably stuffed with a couple stockings in there, too. In fact, they call them ostrich legs and everything. You wouldn't want to hang that sock on your fireplace for Christmas, would you? Will he get any gifts?
I don't know. If you were a coach,
popcorn or something.
if you were a coach, you might like to find that in your stocking.
No, I'd take what's in it. Yeah.
Here's Wilson going for Carter. Oh, that was very nearly a touchdown. Van Jakes on the coverage. That would have been similar to the catch that he made against the Redskins.
Tell you, this is when we can watch the Carters go deep and stuff, and let's watch when a nose tackle goes through. I mean, there's a center on him, a guard on him. They just take a boom, just put him right on his back. He didn't see the pass get off. He didn't see whether Carter caught it or not. He just lays on the ground and listens. And he trots off the field because he only plays on rundowns anyway.
If you're a nose tackle in a dome, you spend a lot of time looking at the rafters. Second down, they give to Nelson. He's hit back to the line of scrimmage. Lost a yard. Pat Swilling. Vaughn Johnson. Van Jakes has come out on the sideline. Place has been taken by Reggie Sutton.
You know, that's the area that if they're going to work on someone in that Saints secondary, it would be Van Jakes, because that's the area that all the other teams have worked on.
That's what Jim Mora said yesterday. You know, we got a weak spot. That's where it is. And the other folks,
was going to see Carter on him.
The other folks are not dumb. Wilson has Leo Lewis inside the Saint 25 to about the 23. Ricky Jackson, Brett Maxey made the stop, but not soon enough.
Watch this, Pat. That's the same type of throw that Wade Wilson made down in the end zone to Jordan. Watch that. There's zone. You see there's two guys on either side, and whap, he just zipped it right between the two to Leo Lewis. I mean, that's confidence in your arm when you can do that, because a lot of guys would see those two linebackers and not even throw the ball.
I didn't realize Wade Wilson had that kind of an arm, because we haven't seen that much of it. He can throw it. Here's Nelson. Gained only one, stop by Sam Mills. And Van Jakes is back in the game. What's Sam Mills?
See those linebackers, they have those goofy eyes anyway. They kind of got that smile because they know, hey, there's going to be some action here in a minute. Sam Mills just watched Darren Nelson all the way. Boom, right down the line with him. Made that open field tackle.
Sam Mills basically a two-down player. He plays only on running situations. Then they take him out. He's out now.
And Sam Mills and Darren Nelson are about the same height. Mills can look eye to eye to him.
Wilson back to throw. Has time and again zips it to Jordan. And he'll be right at the 10-yard line. A gain of 12, and Wade Wilson has been almost perfect.
And he's throwing those balls that have defenders on them. I mean, it's not like he's throwing them away from defender. Brett Maxey was all over Steve Jordan on that one. The one before that, he zipped between two linebackers. The touchdown to Jordan, he zipped between two linebackers. So he's throwing it into defense and being successful with it.
It's first and goal at the 10, and look at the number of offensive plays, 33 to 12 in favor of the Vikings. It's an option, and it's a touchdown. Alan Rice, the thrower, Anthony Carter, the catcher. Alan Rice had no idea where that ball was going. He was on his way down when he let it go, and it was a strike.
And Anthony Carter just slipped right through the defense. Watch this, it's a run pass. Pitch out to Rice. Rice is looking. If you're going to throw it, only look for one guy, and that's Anthony Carter. But I don't know how that Saint defense could let him run through them like that. I mean, why on any defensive play you shouldn't say, let's watch Carter.
Nelson trying to make it 24 to 7. Scribner to the holder. And it's good. This is a heck of a throw. Watch Carter and how he gets open.
Well, you know, he's coming in like he's going to block. You see, like he's cracking. Waymer went up for the run, then Carter kind of started off slowly. Boom, just zipped right by him.
Made it look so easy. And it's 24-7. 7 The Vikings lead the Saints 7 plays, 54 yards. They kept it 3 minutes and 8 seconds, and they take a commanding lead. The same thing that happened to that water bag a minute ago has happened to this crowd. They cut out the bottom, and there's no noise.
Well, you know, and part of that, or a big part of it, is the Viking defense. The Saints have only 28 yards total offense, 14 rushing and 14 passing, and when you only have that in the first half, there's really nothing to cheer about.
Again, Nelson drills it. Barry Word handles it. Everyone's been like that. Word this time gets a good return outside the 35 to the 38. Chris Martin made the stop. He returned it 23 yards.
That's why it's a touchdown again. They're going to start out with a pitch here to Rice. Now Waymer, who's covering Carter, is here, looks in. He comes up to stop the run. Carter comes by like it's going to be a blot. He looks in like it's a run. Boom, he just sneaks right by him. But watch Waymer up here at the bottom of the screen. See when he sees run? Well, now everyone lets Carter run right by him because they think it's a run.
Four-man front, as usual by the Vikings. Hebert gets it out to his tight end, Hobie Brenner. That's the first pass he's completed since his touchdown pass. Scott Studwell made the stop. Gain of 8.
I think Hebert is looking up at Keith Millard there, and he's saying, hey, let's start getting this guy off of me. Here's Pat Swilling. He's coming from the backside. He gets him from the back. Millard is right in front of him. And I'll tell you, he's wondering what the heck's going on here.
Second down. 82, and they send Ruben Mays after it. And he doesn't get it. Only one stopped by Millard.
Yeah, we talked about Tommy Kramer being hurt. Bobby Hebert also has a bad knee.
And now Ruben Mays is hurt. You know, Ruben Mays again with another good year, but down at the moment. So we'll take a timeout while they attend to Ruben Mays. 5 minutes and 17 seconds left in the first half. And over on the sideline, here's what happened, John.
Yeah, you can see Keith Millard is coming here, and he's going to come in, and he hits Ruben Mays right on the right knee. Watch him as he comes in to tackle him there, gets the right knee right there. In fact, Millard and Mays were teammates at Washington State.
3rd and 2. Hebert on the spread. Has some time this time, and the catch is made by Lonzel Hill. Stopped by Carl Lee, but enough for the first down and a pickup of 3. And even a first down excites the crowd after the way the Vikings have dominated since the early touchdown.
That was only their second first down of the day. This offensive line of the Saints, really, in his first half, hasn't been able to handle the defensive line of the Vikings.
Dalton Hilliard replaced Mays, and he's the lone setback. Hebert fakes to him. Look out. Hebert gets away from a bunch of pursuit and gets it to Hobie Brenner. Brenner to the Viking 20. Stopped by John Harris finally. Good effort by Hebert.
I think the Saints have finally decided that they just can't let Hebert stand in that pocket, that they got to move him out. Here they bring him out on a bootleg, let him move around, buy a little time, and then he can find Hobie Brenner or someone up the field. But the way he's getting that rush up the middle, he just can't stand in that pocket.
If he's going to get any time, he's going to have to buy it on his own ability, because they really, as you said, haven't gotten him blocked up front.
And remember, he has a tender knee himself.
First down, Saints, the Minnesota 26. Buford Jordan and Dalton Hilliard behind Hebert. Hebert to throw. Pass incomplete. It was Eric Martin. Hebert had the ball there. He was hit by Isaac Holt, and it's incomplete.
You can just see Eric Martin, probably the best receiver of the Saints. He's just waiting there. He caught the ball. Hey, Isaac Holt did an excellent job of coming up and knocking it out of there. Martin had a tough thing because he couldn't duck or duck. He had to stand right there because if he moved too much, he'd be out of bounds.
So it brings up a 2nd and 10 from the 26. Minnesota 24, New Orleans 7. Dalton Hilliard, draw play to the left, slips one tackle, fights his way down inside the 25 to about the 23, stopped by Scott Studwell.
You see Chris Dolman in there. He was telling us last night that when he was a linebacker, then he moved to defensive line, and he started getting some sacks. He's a leading sacker in the Viking team. Then he started getting double teamed. He said it was frustrating, and Floyd Peters told him, he said, it's easier to beat a double team. He said, being double teamed is good.
It's respect. I'm not sure about it being easier.
I don't understand it, but it's something the coach would say, hey, it's good. Yeah. It's good. You like to be double teamed.
Here's Hebert. Incomplete, intended for Lonzel Hill. It looked as if he had room to run. And the crowd thought either that or that there was pass interference, and here comes Morton Anderson. Carl Lee made the hit.
Hey, you can see Bobby Hebert walking up, pointing to his eyes, say, hey, you have to see that. That was pass interference. The guy hit him or came over the top before the ball got there. I would think that Lonzel Hill and Bobby Hebert were both right.
No review, and we're looking at Morton Anderson from 40 yards out. He's been perfect from this distance, and he is again. 24-6. 24-10, I beg your pardon. 3:06 left to play in the first half.
Let's watch that one again and see if Lonzel Hill did get hit before the ball got there. Again, he can get there the same time of the ball, but it looks like contact was well before the ball got there.
There can't be too much question about that.
I would say the Saints have a legitimate complaint. But that'll do you nothing. I mean, that's your complaints are legitimate. So what?
Not now. They've already run another play, and
this is a playoff.
Review
if
it
you
now.
lose this one, yeah, you take your $6,000 and go home. The other guys take their $6,000 and go on. Minnesota wins, of course, they would go to San Francisco. If the Saints win, they go to Chicago.
The report on Ruben Mays, as you look at Bobby Hebert, is that he has strained knee ligaments. They'll take a closer look at halftime or pretty soon. And we don't know whether or not he'll be able to return or not. But of late, in that running back situation for the Saints, Dalton Hilliard has been moving more and more into the forefront. The scoring drive for the Saints, 8 plays, 40 yards. Anderson finished it off with a 40-yard field goal. He's about to kick off. What some strength he's got in that leg. That's 3 times he's kicked off, and all 3 of them have either been deep into the end zone or out of the end zone.
And I'll tell you, the 2 groups that love him is, one, the kickoff coverage team. They always want that kicker to kick it in the end zone, and the defense. They want to come out there and be able to start on that 20.
Now the crowd has come to life. The Saints defensive players waving their arms and asking, hey, we need some help. 24-10, the Vikings lead. You make noise when they got the ball. When we got the ball, you be quiet. Wade Wilson going right to work. Looking for Carter. Chased by Clark. And down by Tony Elliott. And Clark. Hear that noise? What do you call that thing, John?
Automometer meter. Yeah, they got it way up in the red on that play. It's scheduled. It was like a record on the meter. But I'll tell you one thing. He did have Anthony Carter wide open out here to the left. The guy covering him, Van Jakes, fell down. I don't know what Wade Wilson was looking at. But Jakes fell down on Carter, and Carter was wide open.
Can you hear? 2nd and 14.
The meter's in double red.
Wilson gives on a draw play to Rick Finney. Nothing doing. That's a great word, whatever you call that thing, but what it means is how loud it is.
Well, look at that. I don't know anything about the top two. I don't know about that Jet or that rock concert stuff, but the Superdome today, when these guys get excited, are right up with the top two.
I know about the top one. And that's loud.
Yeah.
I know you don't know. 24-10. With 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to play in the first half. The Vikings lead it, and they have just taken a timeout.
The one thing that you can't do in this situation, 3rd down, you like to go to the shotgun. But with this noise, there's no way the Vikings can go to a shotgun. Unless they go to one of those silent counts, and then if they do that, then the defense again has the advantage.
Well, Pat Swilling was explaining that yesterday when we talked to him, saying that if we get the crowd into it enough so that they can't hear the snap signal, then they have to go on movement. And if they go on movement, we have just the same advantage that they have. In fact, we have more.
That gives them a big plus. You see, the Vikings aren't in the shotgun either.
Wilson back to throw. As Darren Nelson. That'll turn that meter down.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. I mean, that's one thing that the Vikings have done today in this first half. They have 2 big play guys, Anthony Carter, Darren Nelson, and they've gotten the ball to them.
2 minutes remaining in the first half at the Louisiana Superdome.
Down for the Vikings. Here's Darren Nelson. Let's watch how he got open. Van Jakes is here. He's covering him. But here comes Anthony Carter. He comes in, boom, and picks him right here. Whap! And that lets Darren Nelson get by him. Watch Carter, the outside guy. Here comes Jakes. He's going out to cover him. Whap! Right there. He gets picked, and that leaves Darren Nelson open. That's not a legal play either, but they didn't see it, so then it's legal.
Legal because they got away with it.
The old pick. 3rd down, what the heck? They're making a lot of noise. Pick them.
There's Wilson back in the pocket. Now chased out of the pocket. Gets the ball out, incomplete. Intended for Allen Rice. Took a shot in the back from David Waymer. Ricky Jackson was the man in pursuit. Stick with us at the half. Brent will be with longtime Saint great, who suffered as much as anyone here, Archie Manning. And locker room reports, Irv Cross and Will McDonough will be outside the 2 locker rooms and bring us up to date. Archie Manning played quarterback here after so many great years. He went to the Vikings after a brilliant collegiate career at Ole Miss. 2nd and 10. Wilson again chased by Swilling, and down he goes. The 5th sack.
Hey, that's the type of game this is going to be. The Vikings are going to try and get the ball to either Anthony Carter or Darren Nelson, and the Saints are going to try to get to Wilson before he can get the ball to those 2 guys. Here, Pat Swilling was the first guy in. He made him bring the ball down. And, of course, then he couldn't get out and get anything going.
He was talking about how he thought he could work against Zimmerman yesterday. He said, I think I can get him started wide and then come inside, and that's what he did then.
That's exactly what he did. And you look at this first half, the Viking quarterbacks have been sacked 5 times, hurried 6 times, been knocked down twice after they threw it, had 1 batted ball and 1 fumble. That's a lot of stuff that happened to that position in the first half.
Especially when you lead 24-10 in spite of all that.
Of course, one of those, or 7 of those points, of course, were Anthony Carter on the big punt return for a touchdown.
Minnesota 3rd down and 17, looking for their 6th third down conversion in a row. And if you can keep doing that, you'll stay ahead. Wilson again flushed out of the pocket, sets up the screen pass to Wright. And the Saints, led by Swilling again, stop him. And they call their last timeout. Gain of 8. Minnesota's Bucky Scribner will have to come on and punt.
Well, that's the thing. The Saints want to take a timeout now. They have no more timeouts. But, of course, after this punt, they will get another free timeout at change of possession. Of course, they haven't had a lot of success moving the ball on offense. So you wonder if maybe that last minute can get the Minnesota defense out of that big pressure defense and into something a little softer for them.
4th down for the Vikings. This is a Saint timeout and their last one. Mel Gray, the dangerous Mel Gray.
It's a dangerous Mel Gray fumbled the first one today, and that's how the Vikings got their first score.
Would you call that a fumble? It just hit him in the shoulder. He signaled fair catch, and then I don't know what happened. I think he lost the ball in the rafters.
I do too, because it wasn't a muff, was it?
No. He never even tried to catch it.
I think it was just a misjudgment.
Saints are coming after it. Scribner gets rid of it. Gray tried to handle it. I don't think he touched this one. He was lucky that time that the same thing didn't happen.
You know, the only other thing I can think is someone lost their shoe right on the line of scrimmage. That was right there where the ball was snapped. The other thing is Scribner is a left-footed kicker, and that ball could be coming down at different angles, and Mel Gray may not be used to it, because that is the second one that he misjudged.
That was Walker Lee Ashley who threw the shoe back there.
Right on the line of scrimmage. I mean, he just left it. Pop! He just popped right out of that shoe and ran about 45 yards down the field.
That's what you call coming out of the blocks. 1st and 10, New Orleans Saints. Dalvin Hilliard is the setback back with Hebert. As the Saints operate out of the spread. Hebert drops it off to Hilliard. Hilliard still on his feet and still on his feet and gets out of bounds. That doesn't look like much, but the fact that he got out of bounds bought some time. He's hit by Joey Browner. A gain of only 4, but he does stop the clock.
Well, the Saints aren't really strong in this area because the one thing they lack in their receivers is speed. They don't have any speed outside or none at tight end, so they don't have that deep threat that can go get that long ball.
That would account for, although today has been the exception, that, of course, would account for they're leading the league in time of possession. Because they can't go deep. They can't go for the big bomb. To their credit, they haven't tried it.
The one thing they do have, though, is that great kicker that they only have to play on a 50-yard field.
Hebert outside of Lunzell Hill. That'll be a Saint first down. And they'll go hurry up. They'll have about a minute left when they get this play off if the Vikings get back on side. Millard taking his time. They have a minute. Hebert intercepted by John Harris. To the 35, and it puts the Vikings right back in business.
Now, that's different because the clock stops now. I think Hebert was trying to go. I think he was trying to go to Eric Martin there. Eric Martin just stopped right in the middle. John Harris jumps in front of him and gets the interception. Now that stops the clock. Now the Vikings do have 2 timeouts. Now the situation changes. Eric Martin, as he's coming in here, John Harris is looking at Martin out of his left eye and the quarterback out of his right eye.
Now, we talked earlier about the Saints Great special teams and the Vikings' inability to put people away. Here's a chance to do it. Swilling has Wilson get away from him, and now Bruce Clark. Swilling was there first. Clark and Wilkes finished him off. 6 sacks.
Swilling is up here. He's going to be the first guy. Then Wilkes is the second guy. Wilkes is the guy who finally gets him. What Swilling comes from the outside. They're trying to block him with Darren Nelson. You can't do that. You can't block him with a back. Then the next guy in there is Wilkes. You see Swilling go for the swipe, though? He was the guy who said he tackles with his left hand and swipes with his right hand. He did it, but he missed with the left, and he missed with the right.
That's Bob Snelker over talking to Tommy Kramer. I didn't see anything happen to Wilson, but Kramer with his helmet on, loosening. Wilson over on the sideline, and again, I didn't see anything happen to him. We'll check.
Well, he was sacked, and maybe they just got upset with him for taking a sack. They figured that he should have gotten rid of the ball because they were in or close to field goal position.
Jerry Burns said a lot of the fans and media had been saying in Minnesota, you can't play, quarterback can't play with a gun to his head. That's too much pressure. Heck, that's what this game is all about. Pressure. Kramer going to throw a screen pass. Going to almost have it intercepted. Ricky Jackson was there, read the thing perfectly from the beginning. It's a loss of 2. Alfred Anderson was the intended receiver. Jackson might have hurt his right arm.
I'll tell you, and he almost had the interception, as you said. That was a weak-looking screen pass by Kramer. It looked like the last shot out of a Roman candle, just got plopped out there. Hung in the air for a long time.
Looked like all the powder might have been gone.
Ricky Jackson had to decide, do I play it safe and get the tackle, or do I go for the spectacular one? He played it safe.
3rd down, and they just run Darren Nelson straight ahead. Flag down on the play. Pat Swilling made the stop, but there's a penalty marker down. The half can't end on a penalty. Another flag is down.
There would have to be a defensive penalty. There was one down, and then a second one came out later, so that could be a double penalty.
We have 12 men on the defense. We will have an untimed down. 3rd down.
An untimed down. I don't know if I've ever heard that before.
Well, we're getting a lot of stuff here. We had the half can end on a defensive penalty, so then the clock is out, so they don't start the clock again.
Wade Wilson's back.
Well, you get Wade Wilson back in, Kramer out, untimed play, a lot of stuff.
This goes into the category of freebies. Take a shot, right?
Well, they got the 3 lined up in the left.
Throw it up. Touchdown. Hassan Jones came up with it.
I'll tell you, that 12 men on the field for the Saints was the killer for him. The half should have been over. Jim Morris saying, how can that happen to us? With Adam Stoff, we should have been in the locker room. I'll tell you, watch this up on top. Here's the 3 players. They're just going to run straight down the field. Wade Wilson's in the shotgun. Hassan Jones is number 84. He's in the middle. They're in a triangle position now. Leo Lewis is trailing. Hassan Jones just goes up, tips the ball up to himself, and then comes down with it.
Certainly worth another look.
I don't know why the Saints didn't really react to that ball. They were watching it because he tipped it up and then caught it.
Tipped it to himself. And it's a touchdown, Minnesota. That's Carter, Hassan Jones, and Leo Lewis all together.
Johnny Poe is number 25. He goes up for it. Now the ball's in the air. Now there's no other Saints that are able to go for it. Jones ends up with it. Look at all those Saints surrounding it, though. Look, they got a whole group there. I think they're reviewing this play for some reason, Pat.
After review by the replay official, the play will stand as called touchdown.
It is a touchdown. Hassan Jones caught it after he tipped it to himself while he was lying on his back.
You know, that could be the play that finishes the Saints. I know you can come from behind on things, but that all started because they had 12 men on defense.
So they replay the down with no time left on the clock. They hit the extra point, and at the half, it's 31-10. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Minnesota Vikings 31, the New Orleans Saints 10.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football Conference Wild Card game is sponsored by Toyota, setting the standard for quality and value. Michelob, so exceptionally smooth, the night belongs to Michelob. And by the American Express card, don't leave home without it.
Come 20 points. Detroit defeated San Francisco at Kezar Stadium back in 1957. 31-27. Tom Tracy had a big second half to lead the Lions. But we've already seen the longest punt return in playoff history, that 84-yarder by Anthony Carter. Stranger things have happened. Bobby Hebert. Comes in motion. Hebert gives to Dalvin Hilliard. Gain of 3. Howard made the stop.
Yeah, if we're going to see the Saints come back or attempt to come back, they have to start controlling line of scrimmage. They didn't in the first half. The Viking defensive line whipped the Saint offensive line. I think it's as simple as that. And on the first play, they started doing the same thing.
Particularly Millard and Dolman, although they all contributed. Millard again hits Hebert just as he gets the ball out to John Tice, but Millard, they haven't gotten him blocked anybody all day.
Yeah, I think Millard knows their snap count. Watch him here. He's there on Edelman. Now he's getting up and he's beating him to the snap. See, he's getting that left arm up over and beyond him before Edelman is getting set. He's getting in the backfield before the Saint offensive line is moving.
3rd down and 3. 4, call it. Saints from their own 28. Vikings fake a blitz. They don't do much of that. The ball is deflected and very nearly intercepted. It was hit by Henry Thomas. Sort of a homecoming for him. Dolman almost had close to a touchdown. If he could have found the handle, he could have been gone.
Well, Dolman is lined up on the left side now. Usually lines up on the right side, and then he drops out like he's going to be a linebacker. And then Henry Thomas comes up the middle, gets his right hand up, and Dolman almost gets a reflection.
Anthony Carter back deep. Hanson to kick. And that was going to be a fake punt, I think. It looked like they snapped it to the short man, who was Dave Waymer.
And if against the Vikings, it'll be a first down.
Right. They'll take them any way they can.
Encroachment, number 53 defense, first down.
Watch number 44, Dave Waymer. He moves a little to his right. And then that's the thing that set off. I don't know if he was going to take it, but
I don't know either.
He jumped in front of the snap, and the snap hit him.
He was starting to celebrate.
Yeah, he jumped to the right. Then when he jumped to the left, whap, he got hit with the ball.
First down, Saints. Dalvin Hilliard outside 35. 5, a pickup of 3. Henry Thomas again on the stop.
You know, Henry Thomas, as you said, it's a homecoming. He's from LSU, a rookie, but he came in here and started for the Saints right in training camp. And just from day one, from rookie camps in the offseason, they liked this guy. I know Floyd Peters said he never played like a rookie. He played like a veteran from day one.
Hebert again to Hilliard. To the 40. Picked up 5. It'll bring up 3rd and 2. Howard and Thomas again made the stop. I think the Vikings, when they got Henry Thomas, thought he was going to be a backup for a while, but he became a starter right from, as you said, right from the opening day of training camp.
Well, he beat out Tim Newton.
Right.
Tim Newton was the starter, and he beat him out in training camp, and he's really an excellent player against the run.
Hebert will operate out of the spread formation. Hilliard comes out of the backfield. Hebert going deep. He's got somebody this time. Mark Patterson had a step. Get it there. In fact, perhaps that's the wrong use of the words. He got it more than there.
You know, the Vikings are doing an interesting thing with their defense. They're moving Millard now to right end and taking Dolman and putting him on the left side.
Well, whatever they're doing, whatever the rhythm is, they're doing it successfully. Hands and back to punt. This time chases Anthony Carter back to his own 8-yard line. He'll bring it out to about the 24. Amazing thing about those athletes like Anthony Carter, they always seem aware of where everybody is and what the situation is. He saw he couldn't go anywhere, and he trotted out of bounds. Wins Reuben Mays, minus his shoulder pads, over on the sideline. He sprained knee ligaments. Checked him at the half, and it doesn't appear he'd be back. Anderson and Nelson behind Tommy Kramer now. Back as the Minnesota quarterback. Here's Nelson. Almost off to the races in a first down and a fumble. And Minnesota got it back after a gain of 12 by Darren Nelson. Zimmerman made the recovery.
Hey, that's an alert offensive tackle, and Gary Zimmerman, he's a left tackle. Watch it, delay from the I formation. Good hole, good lead block, heck of a move there. One thing that Jerry Burns said he always worries about Darren Nelson is fumbling. He said he has small hands, and it's just easy to knock the ball out of there. But I don't know, I would take that, because I think he's only fumbled twice all year and lost it.
But that's why he uses Dozier, other than to give him some experience when they get down close. Nelson again. Picked up 6 yards. That's the kind of things the Vikings would like to do. Gene Atkins made the stop. Keep it on the ground and burn up some time.
Well, and I'm sure he wants to do those two things, is keep the ball or get the ball in these guys' hands. Look at this. Nelson has 82 yards. Carter has 159 yards, receptions, and kick returns. These two guys have been 57% of that Viking offense.
And over 200 yards. Anderson. And he might have another Saint first down. Struggle for 5. Tackle finally by Sam Mills. That'll come close to moving the sticks.
You know, the interesting question to me, Pat, is one, Wade Wilson must be saying, what do I have to do? What do you want from a guy? But I come off the bench and I did all those things. And look at that, 11 out of 18, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, and I don't start the second half.
There's nothing, our information is, from the Vikings, nothing physically wrong with Wade Wilson. The gut feeling again. Dozier. Left side and another 5-yard gain.
Well, you know, it could be that Jerry Burns just wants to get Tommy Kramer some playing time, and If they win here, then they go on to play the 49ers next week, and then he could have either guy, kind of have them both ready.
Well, you could see why. You pointed out early in the game when he fumbled a couple of snaps early, Kramer, that he did look rusty.
Yeah, he looked a little jumpy, a little rusty, and that's going to happen. You know, you can practice. He splits the practice time with Wilson, but that's not the same as game day.
No matter how long you play. Nelson again. He's got another Minnesota first down. Stopped by Vaughn Johnson. You know, you go back last Tuesday. The Vikings had an extra day to get ready for this game because they played on Saturday, the Saints on Sunday. Just speculation, I don't know anything, that maybe Jerry Burns was playing a little game with the Saints. And he said, we're going to start Tommy Kramer, Wilson when we need him. Maybe the Saints just took a sigh of relief. They sort of looked like they might have. They got ready for Kramer instead of Wilson.
And thinking that Kramer's going to be that sitting duck, and then Wilson comes in, runs around, and gets big play.
Right. Nelson left side for 3. Stopped by Jim Wilkes. First was Wilkes.
You know what I like about Darren Nelson is he enjoys playing the game. You know, I mean, he's out there. He has spirit. He has fun, a smile on his face, glimmer in his eye, a bounce in his walk. And, you know, it's that part of football. It's not the drudgery. And he's not afraid to go inside. You know, you think little Darren Nelson, he'll run that ball inside as effectively as outside.
Remember Thanksgiving Day.
Boom, he popped a trap in there.
Right. Leo Lewis is the man in motion. Kramer gives on that Statue of Liberty to Nelson again. He hammers to the 35, picked up 3, stopped by Mills. It'll bring up a third down for Minnesota.
Darren Nelson is so tough here. You can see he has to tape his pants on. He's playing right out of his pants. Watch him. He does a little spinner, and then here, that's how the Statue of Liberty is. Watch him as he starts here. As he starts up there, he's going to fake like he's going left. Look, then he does the spin. Then they fake the pass, hand to him, back off. Then the linemen pull and get out in front of him. It didn't work, but it's a good-looking play. You got a spinner, a fake pass, pull.
A lot to talk about. 3rd and 4. Kramer lofts it out incomplete, intended for Nelson. Out of field goal range, Sam Mills put the heat on Kramer. Made him hurry the throw.
Here comes Sam Mills. Now, Kramer, he really didn't get hit until after he threw it, but he knew he was going to get it. So he just wanted to get rid of that ball, and then he went into his roll.
Bucky Scribner, number 13, comes on.
I'll tell you, those left-footed punters are tough for a punt return. I mean, the ball spins the opposite way, and I'll bet you that's what this guy's having trouble with.
Gray back deep for the Vikings. Jerry Burns, when we asked him about his punter last night, what the situation was, he said it's going to be Cookie Gilchrist. And then he said, I don't know why I call that guy Bucky Scribner Cookie Gilchrist. I can't figure that one out either. Out of bounds. Scribner's punt goes out just outside the 13. Only a kick of 21 yards. And we have 6:47 left to play in the 3rd quarter at the Superdome. The Vikings in control. The NFC wild card contest between Minnesota and New Orleans, dominated by Minnesota. If the Vikings win, they will play the San Francisco 49ers. The Redskins journey to Soldier Field and play the Bears in Chicago the next day. We'll be there. Right now they lead 31-10, Minnesota does. Saints have the ball with 6:47 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Ball to their own 14-yard line. Now they're going to get in a position where they have to throw almost every down. Hebert gets it out to Dalvin Hilliard. And Hilliard close to first down yardage. Joey Browner made the stop. Bobby Hebert had a tender knee coming in. See what happened.
Tell you one thing, you know, the Viking defensive linemen, they really don't play run. And, of course, when they get ahead, you know they're not going to play run. They get up on the line of scrimmage, get that right foot back, pin their ears back, and go after the quarterback on every play.
And that's the way they like to play. That's when it's fun being a defensive lineman. Here's Hilliard. And Hilliard over left side for 9 yards. Browner and Harris. If by chance the Saints should come back and win this game, they would go to Chicago on January the 10th to play the Bears. And the Redskins would go on January the 9th to play San Francisco. Hebert limps out. Wilson comes in. Abe Wilson, who brought the Saints back a couple of times this year after they were down. 2nd and 1. 2nd and very short. Hilliard is the lone setback, and Wilson's going to put it up. He gets it out to his tight end, John Tice. Tice hammered out of bounds in front of the Viking bench after a gain of 10. And a Saints first down.
I'll tell you, Bobby Hebert really took a beating today because not only the times he was sacked, but it seemed like every time he threw, he was getting knocked down.
He's one of those guys that just stands and stands in there.
And I think he's one of those guys that's a real tough guy, and he can take those beatings, and I think it just got to him today. And I think this is a smart move, whether Hebert had to come out or not, to bring Dave Wilson in.
Looks like they're working on his eye. Not necessarily his bad knee. Wilson. Incomplete. They cut him down, and here comes the flag. Intended for Lonzell Hill. Carl Lee.
I think so. I think Carl Lee cut Lonzell Hill before the ball got there. Watch 39. You see him coming in. You see at the bottom, yeah, he just undercut him. A deal like that in the NBA, they'd give him 2 shots for that.
And there'd be a fight.
And oh yeah, here they give him about 15 yards.
Interference. Number 39 defense. First down.
That's worth 20 yards to the Saints. They need a shot in the arm.
The old undercut in the NFL is a 20-yard deal. That's not bad. Remember earlier, Lonzell Hill didn't get that one he thought was pass interference.
They go on a quick count. This is Dalvin Hilliard. Inside the 30 to about the 28. He picked up 6 before Scott Studwell hit him, knocked the ball loose. But it was after he was down.
Yeah, that's another thing about changing the quarterback. Pat, they have a different cadence. They have a different inflection. I had the feeling that the linemen of the Vikings had a Bears count.
Especially Millard.
Yeah, he looked like he was in their huddle with them.
2nd down and 4. Picked off at the last second. Was he in bounds? Yes. Hobie Brenner got a hand up. See who got the interception.
I tell you, Brenner did have it. It was in his hands, and in his right hand, it was a high pass. Just knocked the ball up in the air.
Reggie Rutland is the man who came up with the interception. And so the Vikings will take over. At Summerall, John Madden. Here is that interception after the deflection by Brenner. Watch his feet.
You know, it doesn't look like Reggie Rutland, number 48, has both feet. He doesn't have the ball yet. Now he has the ball. There's 1 foot. And the 2nd foot, I think, is out.
Well, let's look at it from another angle.
I think the officials just decided to look at this in replay here. Here's control. There's 1 foot. The 2nd foot's out.
That's not an interception.
No. And I bet they give the ball back to the Saints because that one is pretty clear.
The play will stay in this call. First down.
I don't know. They're reviewing the same pictures. That's one foot in and 1 foot out, no matter how you look at it.
First down, Minnesota. They say the evidence is not conclusive. Score is 31-10. Vikings lead. And the clock is running against the New Orleans Saints in their great dream season. And today it's turned into a nightmare. Second down and 5. Vikings with the ball at their own 22. Boy, you can't take anything away from them. Johnny Kramer, the quarterback. Anthony Carter. That's a catch. And Jakes on the coverage. Gain of 12 and a Minnesota first down.
There's Bob Schnelker you just saw on the sideline. He's the offensive coordinator of these Vikings. You see him. He's sending in the play there with Darren Nelson. One of the few offensive coordinators that calls the plays from the sideline. I'll tell you, he's doing an excellent job today.
In fact, we were talking last night, John. These two guys, the two offensive coordinators on these two teams, are maybe the only two in the league who stay on the sidelines and not up in the press box.
Yeah, most of them are up there where they have their notes and everything spread out. They got monitors and everything.
Almost an interception by Ricky Jackson. Wilkes put the pressure on Kramer. Hebert, by the way, took a finger in the eye and should be able to return.
He's down there talking to Eric Martin, probably the top wide receiver of the Saints. Maybe talking about what they did or what they can do when they get a shot again. Martin didn't look like he was listening, though, did he?
No.
Didn't look too interested.
Rice was the running back. It's Kramer to throw it. He has Carter. And that's a catch. And he did a heck of a job to get his feet down in bounds.
He does a heck of a job with everything he does. Anthony Carter, I mean, you see he has the ball here. There's 1 foot down. And he has to get the right foot down. I guess he does. That's knowing your field. I mean, when you can get it down that fine, you are a knowledgeable guy. You know, when he was in the USFL, he played with the Oakland Invaders, and his receiver coach was Fred Blitnikoff. And he does a lot of the things. He said he learned a lot from Fred Blitnikoff, and he does a lot of those little things like Fred Blitnikoff.
Well, they are reviewing this catch. His right toe might have been out of bounds.
Well, they gave one to the Vikings on the interception. I'll tell you, that looks like you're just talking about.
That's not nearly as close as the other one.
You're talking about millicentimeters.
Right foot on the white.
I don't know, white shoe on white. I mean, that looks like white on green to me from here, but I thought the other one, the guy was out. But I look here, this one looks like he's in. Yeah, he's...
Further review by the replay official. The play will stand as called. First down.
Well, the Vikings got two. I think one they deserved. I think Carter deserved that one. I think the interception, I didn't think that was in.
Right at midfield then. 1st and 10 Minnesota. Less than 3 minutes left to play in the third quarter. The Vikings lead 31-10. Here's Darren Nelson. First down and more. A pickup of 9. Darren Nelson's one of those guys who sort of disappears on the other side of the field, and all of a sudden he pops out for a gain of 9 and a first down.
Did you hear his sideline cheer him? Gene Atkins, number 28, came up to hit him, and Darren Nelson went whap and gave him a forearm. But you see what I like about him? He always has a smile on his face. You know, this is a game, and it should be fun. Sometimes it gets too much business in it and too much politics in it and too serious. And when you can still have fun with it, then that's the way it should be.
Handoff is to Rice. And that'll be another Viking first down as Rice got 3. Pat Swilling stopped him. Well, there was a big sign in the Saint locker room yesterday when we were there. Big letters said never, 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 never give up. It's time to see that sign hit home.
I think the Vikings brought a bigger load to this stadium today than the Saints expected.
Anthony Carter again. And another catch. And a pickup of 17.
You see that catch there, Pat? That's where he looked like Fred Blitnikoff.
Exactly.
It seems like I've seen Fred do this so many times. Just come off, good release, drive your guy deep, and then go to the out, and then just hang there. Hang there until the ball gets there. Get both hands and just wrap it out of the air.
Hang there and maybe come back a little bit to get away from the defender.
That's the smartest thing any wide receiver does, is always work a little back towards the quarterback, because you can beat the guy out, and then you have another chance to beat him.
First and 10. Handoff is to Anderson. Over the right side. Gain of 2. Stopped by Sam Mills again.
Yeah, it was interesting last night talking to the Vikings, and they said that, you know, they lost 3 out of their last 4. They thought their game last Saturday was really a playoff game. They lost that. They had a lot of pressure on them. Then they felt this game, they're the underdogs. Everyone's down on them. No one expects anything on him, out of him. And maybe they said, maybe we'll play better without any pressure.
Second and 8. They certainly played well enough. Nelson has got some room to the outside. Scoops away, and finally Sam Mills takes him down after a pickup of 4. Minnesota has dominated from the beginning after the Saints went ahead 7-0. But Minnesota's had the ball 27.5 minutes. 11.5 minutes more than New Orleans, and the Saints led the league in possession time during the regular season.
I'll tell you, these guys just got everything taken out of them. But I think the reason is that the Viking defense, led by the defensive line, really smothered the Saint offense.
Leo Lewis was the man in motion. They get the ball out to Anderson, who had it, juggled it, looked upfield, and lost it. He knows he had room. On comes Chuck Nelson and his holder, Bucky Scribner, or Cookie Gilchrist, or whoever he is. I can't. I just don't see why those names get connected.
Yeah, especially the types of guys. I mean, Bucky Scribner's a left-footed punter, and Cookie Gilchrist was a big, booming, tough fullback.
Right.
Cookie Gilchrist may have been the best blocking running back that ever played the game.
32-yard field goal attempt. Scribner is the holder. Nelson is the kicker. He's hit 1 already. He's hit 2. And the Vikings increase their lead to 34-10. Still in the third quarter. Pat Summerall, John Madden at the Louisiana Superdome. The NFC's wild card game. And it's been wild for Minnesota. They lead the game 34-10 with 1 minute and 15 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Chuck Nelson, who just hit that field goal to make it 34-10, will kick off. And so far, he has not kicked a single ball in the direction of Mel Gray. All but one has gone to Barry Word.
With a score at 24-10, I've been teasing him enough. I'd kick him one, wouldn't you?
Tease him?
Yeah, no, you've been teasing him all day.
Oh, yeah,
ha, 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 ha. You're not whap, give him one. What the heck?
Well, they flip-flopped the returners now. Hilliard's gone to where Word was. Not much to do with that one. Word downs it in the end zone. Next Sunday, following the NFC divisional playoff game, CBS Sports will present 2 of the most successful college basketball teams of the 80s. Georgetown, led by guard Perry McDonald, against DePaul and point guard Rod Strickland, next Sunday, live at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on CBS Sports, the home of the NCAA Basketball Championship. John Madden and I will be receiver, the intended receiver. He fell down. The pass is incomplete.
I tell you, I bet the Tice family is proud. You know, they have two sons, both playing tight end, both playing in the NFL, both playing in dome stadiums, both playing in the playoffs. And I'll tell you, that would really be something, you know. And then you hope there's always a chance that they could both play in the Super Bowl against each other.
Their father, I'm sure, is a Seahawk fan, but he's also an avid Giant fan. Wilson just barely does get it away. Intended for Dalvin Hilliard, bounced off the back of one of the officials. Incomplete. Scott Studwell was on the coverage.
I tell you, once you've played a defensive line and you've been all over the quarterback and you've been shutting them down and knocking them around in every way you can, then it's like a fight in the 12th or 13th round. After you've beaten a guy down, then other things like that come easy. The sacks and knockdowns, the guy throws them in the back of the official.
3rd and 10 for the Saints. Goldman on a big rush. Pass intended for Eric Martin is behind him and incomplete. And Dolman came close to Wilson.
Watch him right here going against Dombrowski. He's just going to go right around him. Watch, he hits him with that offhand, the right hand, sprints right by him. And again, the guy with that speed of Dolman, he's about a 4'5", 4'6" guy, weighs 262 pounds. And when he gets you from that backside, you got him.
Watch him, Bob.
Hanson back to punt. Carter back deep for Minnesota. Less than a minute left to play in the 3rd quarter. Carter at the 40. Almost beheaded by John Tice. 40-yard punt. Return of 4.
You notice little guys like that, when they get knocked down, how quickly they bounce up. You know, that proves you can't hurt me. Look at Carter. He's still going around explaining. I think he did hurt him a little because he's going to go limping off there. But the thing is, when they get hit, they're not going to stay down. Watch him. Number 82, John Tice, is really going to put a lick on him as he comes in right there. Watch him. I mean, he hits him and spins him around. Now watch Carter, all in one motion. He spin and back up.
Gustafson has taken his place. This is DJ Dozier. Left side stopped by Sam Mills after a gain of 4. Clock ticking down in the final seconds of quarter number 3. Minnesota leading 34-10.
You know, those little guys getting hit, it's kind of like the baseball, you know. Yeah, a guy gets hit in baseball, he never rubs it, never lets you show it. Boom, you always bounce up. Never let them think they hurt you.
It's almost defiance.
That's how they've gotten through life, though, defiant, those guys.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Minnesota Vikings 34. The New Orleans Saints 10. And we now pause for a word from your local station. A quarter to go. The Vikings leading New Orleans 34-10. A pickup of 4 by Anderson. Here's a pass rush a moment ago on Wade Wilson.
Well, you know, you see Chris Dolman coming from the backside. Now, you watch Dave Wilson here as he's getting hit. You know one thing, get your feet out of the ground. Watch how he just pulls both feet and put them out. Now, that's how you don't get those knee things. When a guy gets a knee is when he has that foot planted and he gets hit. Now, as Dave Wilson felt that, he just pulled both feet up, and then he could go to the ground and not take that twist on the joint.
There's Darren Nelson spinning. Enough for Viking first down, a pickup of 5. I called him Wade Wilson. You were right. Dave Wilson. Ricky Jackson on the stop.
See that? You got to like that. I mean, Darren Nelson's running so hard today and so fast he has to tape his pants on. I mean, you got to like that when you that you're going and you got those hips moving and that stuff's moving in the lower legs that you're just going to fly right out of your pants. You're going to pants yourself.
Well, we had a guy run out of his shoes. That's acceptable. Pants, I'm not sure about. There's Nelson again. Hit by Swilling. Vaughn Johnson. Pickup of 2. Then the clock runs. Talked, John, earlier in the game about what a factor the noise level could be for the Saint fans who have been so excited about their team and the 9 straight victories and the first appearance in the playoffs. The Vikings have just taken that factor and stuffed it.
Well, that's the way you do it. You know, you get off, you jump on them, you get an early lead. And I always say that'll quiet them down.
Nelson again. Skips. Dances before he's stopped by Waymer and gets 9 yards.
Nelson is trying to get all that stuff out of there. This is what he sees. He's gonna take that in the middle. It's a little delay play. See him bounce to the right, then he takes the ball, then he's looking and he makes a move. That's a great move in there. And then back, then when he feels he can't get any more, he just puts both hands on the ball. You see in his move, he moved from right to left about 3 yards in 1 step.
That's a Darren dance. As opposed to the Benson Boogie. This is Dozier. No, it's Anderson. Beg your pardon. He's inside the 15 to about the 14. Brett Maxey finally had to bring him down.
Alfred Anderson is one of those guys who is in there because he's a blocker. And he's usually going to block for Darren Nelson. Now they say, what the heck, you've blocked long enough, let's give it to you. So they get a counter. He stepped to the right, makes that counter move, boom, right back to the left, up the middle. And now this Viking offense has the Saint defense beaten down.
They've been out there a long time.
That's what time of possession means. When you see the time of possession, that means that the other team's defense was on the field that long.
1st and 10, Minnesota. From the Saints 15. Flag on the play. This is Dozier this time. Up to about the 12. Wilkes made the stop. Gain of 3. But this one I think they'll bring back.
Jerry Burns there on the sideline. He looked like he'd been through 3 or 4 games. And a car wash.
Illegal motion, number 76 offense, 1st down.
Burnsy, he's quite a guy.
I'll tell you one thing, the players sure like him and respect him.
So long an assistant under Bud Grant. A few years in Green Bay. 2nd NFL season, his record is 19-12. Don't forget, going with that, a replacement team that didn't win any games. The record would be better. Dozier straight ahead for 3. Vaughn Johnson made the tackle.
You can see their year coming to an end, and it's easy to say that they had a great year. They got to the playoffs for the first time in their history, and they ought to be proud of that, and it's been a super year. But I'll tell you, it's hard to take. I mean, that's hard for Jim Moore to take. Yeah, you're going to say, yeah, but we didn't do what we had to do. We didn't do it today.
You can call it a learning experience or lack of experience, whatever you want to call it. The disappointment is the same thing. Hassan Jones was the man. Motion. This is Alan Rice, the ball carrier. He's down to about 11. Gain of 7.
Alfred Anderson and Alan Rice played at Baylor together. They must have, that's what Jerry Burns said last year. He said, geez, they must have had a pretty good running team there, huh?
Tell you what, you look around the league and there are a lot of players playing in the NFL from Baylor.
Here's Bob Schnelker. All he brings to the game is those couple little cards. Has all his plays there. Just, you know, And when Bob Snelker calls those plays from the sideline, if you notice, he's usually by himself. No other coaches around him.
Rice and Dozier are the two runners. That's Dozier. Still on his feet. He gets inside the 5 to about the 3. Pick up 7. Ricky Jackson tripped him up.
T.J. Dozier was the #1 draft choice this year of the Vikings, after his great year at Penn State. And someday I think is going to be the receiver, the running back, the type of guy who can do all the things.
Is an eligible receiver.
But right now,
52 is an eligible.
Right now he has to play behind Darren Nelson.
Perhaps you heard Tom Dooley's voice in the background saying 52 is an eligible receiver. That would be Randy Rasmussen, who lines up at a tight end on the right side. First and goal. Dozier motion. And off to Rick Finney this time. Frank Warren on the stop. Finney is 240 pounds from Washington.
He's a short yardage guy. There's Snelker. You see, look, he just has those plays there with his left hand. He just gives them to Wade Wilson, and then Wilson signals them in.
Bob's made a lot of stops, assistant coaching jobs around the league. I played with him with the Giants, and in spite of all those stops and all the stress, he hasn't aged a day.
He looks good.
He was nudged by Sam Mills, but no penalty marker.
I bet Jerry Burns is feeling good now, not only about this win, but about the fact that they were so frustrated. I think he knew he had a good team. He knew that they could move the ball. He knew that they were pretty good on defense, but they just couldn't score. And they were getting ahead, and they were losing leads and not taking advantages of opportunities. And as he said, if we ever put this thing together, we're going to be dangerous.
Well, they've been dangerous today. Didn't make it. Alan Rice, left side, couldn't nudge it in. Here comes the field goal unit. Sam Mills led the defense, only a gain of a yard. Nelson.
Jim Mora has to feel good about this year, though. I mean, you can't now, I know that, but I think that the Saints are on the right track. I mean, I felt this year they were a playoff team. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team yet, but I think they're on the right track. I mean, they're moving in the right direction, and in the years to come, once they get there, I think they're going to be there for a long time.
They have a nucleus of a lot of talented young players. Not too much publicity about them yet, but there will be. A 19-yard field goal attempt by Chuck Nelson, and he's 3 for 3. He had taken some heat. In fact, Minnesota brought in Jan Stenerud to work with the kickers. It worked. Here's a brief summary of what's taken place in this Viking dominance. Anthony Carter has accounted for 209 yards in total offense, 2 touchdowns. One of them an 84-yard punt return. Reuben Mays led the Saints in rushing. He went out with a knee sprain. Minnesota leads 37-10 with 7:14 left to play in this contest. How do you explain it?
Well, I think the big thing is that the Viking line whipped the Saint line, and they took control of that line of scrimmage. They didn't let him run. They rushed the passer. They just smothered the whole offense. Then that gave Darren Nelson and Anthony Carter the time to work.
Well, that's the kind of thing that they had hoped to do. They hoped to be able to run, obviously. You always hope to be able to do that. The Saints had hoped to be able to throw on first down. They never gave them a chance to do that.
That's what I've always said. Everything starts in the line. You can have all these plays and designs and this thing, but if you don't get the guys blocked, then nothing means anything.
Nelson's kickoff. Another line drive. This one handled by Michael Adams. He gets out near the 30. Ray Berry made the stop, and the Vikings Vikings special teams as well. We came into this game thinking, and in fact, as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, Jim Mora said yesterday, if it weren't for our special teams, we wouldn't be in the playoffs. But today, the Vikings have stolen that thunder as well.
You know, and even Jerry Burns said it last night. He said really where they have the edge on us is their special team. So not only did Jim Mora think it, Jerry Burns thought it. Lo and behold.
Dave Wilson still the quarterback. Alden Hilliard was the intended receiver. Reggie Rutland hit him just as the ball arrived. 2nd and 10.
You know, other than Doug Martin on the defensive line, who's an 8-year vet, this is a young group. Chris Dolman and Keith Millard are both in their 3rd year. Henry Thomas is a rookie. So this is a group, these defensive linemen, these Vikings, that are going to get better.
They're going to build another edition of the Purple People Eater. Lonzel Hill was the intended receiver.
There's a guy who's going to be a pretty good tackle, I think, that Jim Dombrowski there. He's
learning
only in
process.
The 2nd year. It is a learning process, but when you're the left tackle on an NFL team, you're always playing against that speed rusher, that guy who's half lineman, half linebacker. Today he's drawn Dolman. It's been a long day.
Well, they expected that was a place they were going to have to help, and here's Wilson. Caught and dropped by Eric Martin. Pass incomplete.
Eric Martin was dropped by Isaac Holt with a right. That looked like a Mike Tyson right. Eric Martin felt that one. He just came out. Let's watch it here as Martin comes to catch it. Now watch number 30 come in. Give him that right. That's a knockout punch.
That's more than a nudge.
No, that's that short one. You know,
yeah.
Boom.
Hansen back to punt. Vikings lead it 37-10 with 6:48 left to play. Line drive kick handled by Anthony Carter. And he spun around, lost the ball. A hat comes flying in. And the Saints, I believe, got it back.
And I think in the 4th quarter with a score 37-10, I don't mean to second guess, but I don't think I would have Anthony Carter in there returning punts anymore. I would think that he's done his job today, and I would just keep him healthy for the 49ers next week.
Vaughn Johnson is the man who made the hit, and Jakes came up with the recovery. And I agree with you. That guy's given his day's work already.
Yeah, he earned that $6,000. You know, most of these guys take a pay cut to play in this game, because in the regular season they get a percentage of their, you know, if there's 16 games, they get 1/16 of their salary every week. In this game, each team, each player gets $6,000.
In addition to what the replacement players get. Alden Hilliard, right side, picked up 7 yards. Then Henderson on the stop. And the Saints got it back. Maybe. Minnesota got it. The Saints had a shot at it. Joey Browner, the Vikings all-pro safety, down on his knees and slow getting up. Dolman made the recovery.
He gets off the ball, then now he comes back and causes that fumble to Dave Wilson. Watch, he just beats Edelman up the field. Now he throws him by with that left arm, comes back, tackles Wilson from behind, and causes a fumble. Now that's raising havoc.
And he's been doing that all day. Anderson over the left side, picked up 4 yards.
There he is. You know, he was stopped one night by a policeman, and he got in the argument with a policeman, and he told him that his arms are more powerful than the policeman's gun.
Another of those who played in the USFL.
I'll tell you, he's something. This guy goes at both ends. I but he loves life. He loves football, and he loves to get down there and mix it up. Loves to lead with his head.
Going to be a father in February. And he said, I can't wait for that either.
Hold it, goddammit!
Anderson. That'll be a Viking first down. They picked up 12. Anderson did. Stopped by Brett Maxey. Scoring summary. Bobby Hebert, after the Saints recovered a Tommy Kramer fumble, hit Eric Martin with a touchdown. Nelson then hit a 42-yard field goal. It was 7-3. And then the thing that broke things open for Minnesota, Anthony Carter, an 84-yard punt return. And then Wilson to Jordan. It was 17-7 at that point. Continue bringing you up to date. In the second quarter, Rice threw the option pass to Anthony Carter for his second touchdown. And Morton Anderson made it 24-10. And then on a timeless play, Wilson threw a Hail Mary alley-oop type with no time on the clock to end the first half. Wilson then got a 32-yard, Nelson rather, 32-yard field goal, 19-yard field goal a moment ago, and it's 37-10. That's the way it stays, and the Vikings on the move again with 4:40 left to play, 2nd and 3. Finney. Out of bounds at about the 30, a pickup of 2. Swilling. Anthony Carter has removed helmet and put on recreational hat. So
and
I
think once you do that, that means you're not going to catch any more passes. You're not going to return any more punts. You can start your celebration.
Joey Browner alongside. There's Keith Millard, who's had such a spectacular day. It would hard to be charged with the responsibility to pick the most valuable player in this game.
Well, I'll tell you, I think the defensive line, I think Keith Millard and Chris Dolman and that group in there, because they're the guys that control this game.
That enables the other folks to do their thing. Rick Finney was hit at the line of scrimmage. Wouldn't go down, hit by Mills, picked up 2 yards, and is close to another Viking first down.
Bobby Hebert could just never get anything started today. He really didn't have a chance.
Meantime, it's been a big season and a recreational week here in New Orleans. Outside the Superdome, the crowd departing. Of course, they played the Sugar Bowl game between Syracuse and Auburn on Friday. A lot of people stayed around from that in anticipation of this wild card game. New quarterback, Rick Gannon. This is DJ Dozier inside the 30. Vaughn Johnson made the stop. Dozier got 4. And the clock continues to tick away to seconds. 37-10, Minnesota.
Yeah, as you play defense, the number one thing you always say after a play is they're holding.
Yeah, I would have made the play, except they were holding me.
They're holding every play. They're holding. They're holding. Scores 37-10. They're holding. They're holding. Hey, they've done a good job today, these Vikings.
Second down. It's got Hassan Jones in motion. Alan Rice decided he didn't like what he saw. Had tried to go back the other way. Vaughn Johnson, no gain. These Vikings will face the San Francisco 49ers, who, like the Saints, who were on a roll, the 49ers are rolling. That's next Saturday, Minnesota at Candlestick, 3:30 Eastern Time. It begins with the NFL today, the divisional playoffs. And on Sunday, the Redskins will go to Soldier Field, face the Bears. John Madden and I will be there. Gannon. Take off. Slide of bounds past the markers at the 2-minute warning. A gain of 7 and another Viking first down. 37-10. Minnesota, after falling behind 7-0, has taken control. What's left of the crowd at the Superdome standing and applauding in tribute to the kind of year the Saints have had. The first time they've ever been into the playoffs. They waited 21 years for a playoff game. They finally got it, and they haven't forgotten.
I think that tribute is not only to the players and the coaches and Jim Mora and Jim Finks in the front office, Tom Benson, the owner, for the group that they did, the job that they did of bringing this team to where it is today.
They're going to be there for a while. Here is Dozier around the corner, knocked out of bounds inside the 10. Gene Atkins. Dozier got 15 yards.
You know, the interesting thing about Minnesota winning here today, Pat, I know during the week, Bill Walsh, the 49ers, they had the week off and asked Walsh who he was practicing against, who he was getting ready for. He said the Washington Redskins. That made sense to him. Well, lo and behold, the Redskins are going to go to Chicago, and these Minnesota Vikings are going to be showing up in San Francisco.
Well, if everything works out, we'll be talking in the postgame show after this game is over, not only to the losers and the winners, but a live interview we'll have with Bill Walsh. First and goal from the 8. Jones is the man in motion. This is Dozier inside the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. An 8-yard smash by the #1 draft choice, DJ Dozier.
DJ has taken a little of the results of that work, that hard work that they've gone all day and getting them beaten down, and they got them beaten down, and now he can go in there and make things happen like this. Look, he has some good moves. Started to the right, bounced back into the left. Then there was just 2 left between he and the goal line, so he just decided, what the heck, I'll run over him.
He runs bigger than he is.
Yeah, he got the name DJ.
Nope.
His dad's nickname was Deke. As a kid, they called him Deke Jr. They said that's too long a name for a little kid, so they abbreviated it to DJ.
44-10 in favor of Minnesota with 1:46 left to play. They've been impressive. 44-10, Minnesota over New Orleans. And the Vikings about to kick off after DJ Dozier's touchdown run. Tom Benson, the owner of the Saints, who made that Benson boogie famous, came out on the field not to dance after his team has been beaten soundly, but to say thank you to these Saint fans.
I'll tell you, I respect that. I think if you're going to be there when they win, you better be there when you lose, too.
One of the up men in the front part of the wedge, Stan Brock, was the man who returned the kickoff for 13 yards. Coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury. Then the CBS Sunday movie, Once Upon a Texas Train, a comedy western starring Willie Nelson and Richard Whitmark. That's tonight here on CBS. Saints ball, Dave Wilson, the quarterback. 44 points scored by Minnesota, the most ever by a wild card team. Eric Martin steps out of bounds. It has not been a day when the Saints have gotten a lot of breaks go their way.
No, it hasn't been. It started that way right off the bat, and it's been a downhill slide for these Saints today.
And it shows in the face of Jim Mora and the jubilation.
Jerry Burns has scored so many points today, he had to put a sweater on.
He looks like a very happy Burgess Meredith. Here's Dalton Hilliard on a draw play. Knocked down by Joey Browner and Tim Newton.
Tim Newton, he was the starter a year ago, and he was beaten out, and I think one of the reasons you could probably see why he was beaten out.
Brings too much of a load. Mark Patterson knocked out of bounds. Stops the clock after a gain of 10 with 1:09 left to play.
You know, he had his brother. His brother, Nate Newton, is a guard for the Dallas Cowboys. Tim Newton, is, of course, is a defensive tackle. But it looks like he's gotten some numbers up there that tip those Toledos pretty high.
I'll tell you, the numbers on his back are pretty well stretched. Wilson gets away from one rusher. Throws for Dalton Hilliard. Incomplete.
Yeah, there's Tim Newton. As you said, that 9 and that 6 are kind of growing apart there on him. You know, Nate Newton, his brother, was nicknamed the Kitchen. Tim Newton is only 6 foot. Well over 300 pounds. He's going to play himself in shape here at the end of this game.
Somehow I doubt it. Wilson. Pass is intercepted. Steve Freeman. Still on his feet, and Freeman gets down and is hammered at the 22-yard line by Stan Brock. 30-yard return.
Let's watch Newton here. He's isolated. He's going to run right by the quarterback. I mean, if he hits him, he'd knock the quarterback back into next day. He just rolled up on his leg. Got Dave Wilson on that right leg as he threw the interception.
Now there's a guy that's hard to isolate.
He's hard to keep in the frame, isn't he? That was always my problem. I could never be isolated. You only get half of me. Me and Tim, we're in that same group. That Bubba group, that Brotherhood of United Bad Bodies of America. We stand up together.
Rich Gannon just kneels. We have 43 seconds remaining. This game, presented by the authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is prohibited. I don't believe they'd like to rebroadcast it in New Orleans.
But in Minnesota, they may want to keep this one for a while. I'll tell you, and they're going to give the rebroadcast or the relook at these tapes is going to give those 49ers something to think about.
That's right. Score from the Louisiana Superdome is the Minnesota Vikings 44, New Orleans Saints 10. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show coming up next on CBS Sports. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
With 3.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter, and the Saints ahead 7-3. The punt wound up in the hands of Anthony Carter. Carter with an alley to the right, cut back to the middle, and exploded for an 84-yard punt return for the touchdown that put the Minnesota Vikings ahead to stay. They score 3 times in the second quarter, and they go on to rout the New Orleans Saints 44-10, the final. And the Vikes advance now in the Super Bowl tournament. They will take on the San Francisco 49ers next Saturday afternoon. And if you're wondering about this team, about the favorite, when they go out there, it'll be obviously the 49ers. But the last 2 times the Vikings have played the 49ers, they have beaten them. In 1986, in Minneapolis, St. Paul, they won, and again the following year. So 2 straight triumphs by the Vikings over the 49ers. We'll continue with more. We'll hear from the winning coach and some of the victorious Vikings with Irv Cross when Minnesota wins the wild card. They advance to San Francisco next Saturday afternoon, and with us live now is the outstanding head coach of the 49ers, Coach Bill Walsh. Coach Walsh, with New Orleans favored, did the staff spend extra time on the Washington Redskins, or do you split your time when you have a week off like this?
Well, we spent a lot of time on the Redskins, as you might guess, but we did obviously take a close look at Minnesota. there's some similarities defensively between the two teams, so that helps somewhat.
Bill, I want you to take a look at the monitor because there's two big play men on this Viking attack. Anthony Carter, whom we saw return the punt. Darren Nelson, whom you like very much coming out of Stanford. Talk about him for a time.
Well, I spent a lot of time with Darren while I was at Stanford, as you know. I recruited him out of high school. And as a freshman, he was a great success. And to be honest with you, Brent, I think one of the reasons I'm with the 49ers was Darren, because the success we had at Stanford, I think, catapulted me here.
You know, Bill, when you take a look at the rosters of both New Orleans and Minnesota, one thing struck me. The Vikings have some great athletes on that defensive unit. We're going to watch Keith Millard. I thought he was dominating today. Your feelings about their defense?
Well, it's great. Floyd Peters does a great job with their defense. He always has done that. Charging defense, an aggressive defense, and one that you have to stop quickly or they really penetrate.
Now, the last two times you have met the Vikings, you have lost. You had to go with Jeff Kemp in '86 in San Francisco. The year before that was the game up in Minneapolis, and you were beaten. Bud Grant, it was kind of an emotional high for the Vikings. Your feelings now about this matchup, do they match up well against your 49ers?
Well, they match up well against anybody. We've known that all season. They've had bad breaks and sort of zany things happen to them, but now they're on track. They've got super offense. They do a great job with the skill part of their football. Their quarterbacking's excellent. Their pass rush is great, and we're a very sober group at this point.
Bill, tell me about your starting quarterback. Will you stay with Steve Young, or will you go back to Joe Montana now?
Oh, no. Joe Montana's our quarterback, Brent. As you might guess, he was named All-Professional this year, and he's had a great season, and we'll count on Joe to deal with that pass rush.
All right, Bill, we look forward to seeing you next Saturday out in Candlestick Park, and congratulations to the 49ers. We're going to come back now and hear from Coach Jerry Burns. December was a lousy month, but 1988 is looking up, and let's go to Irv Cross.
Looking up indeed, Brent. 44-10 in the first round of the playoffs, Coach. Congratulations. You know, last night you told us that your team has been unsettled all year long. Are we now seeing the Vikings come together?
Well, I hope so, Irv. You know, we got a lot of talent on this club, and just through circumstances, we just haven't put everything together, offensively, defensively, special teams, and today I think they all played well.
Well, they all played well indeed. You know, Wade Wilson, you started with Tommy Kramer, quarterback. Wilson had a great first half, boy, but we didn't see him in the second half. Why not?
Well, just before the half there, on a scramble there, he got his bell rung a little bit and had a bad headache, and our medical people thought perhaps we shouldn't go with him. But he would have been ready to go had Tommy went down. But Tommy went in there and did a great job for us, and I'm just happy. Both those quarterbacks are great quarterbacks, and they're both deserving of being part of the win.
Well, of course, next week, would you start Kramer again and rotate Wilson, or how do you want to use your quarterbacks? We got to think about next week.
Yeah, I get that every week. I don't know. I don't know right now. I like I say, I like to see both of them play and both of them be credited for a victory. But we'll make that decision early in the week.
Coach, congratulations on a big win.
Thank you very much.
Brent.
All right, Irv, when we come back, we'll hear the early line from Jimmy the Greek. How many points will the San Francisco 49ers be favored by next Saturday?